back, everyone.
Hi.
We're married now. Hey. Navy had to stop chewing to acknowledge that we're married now.
She was literally on a toy and she was like...
So we are, hopefully Navy's not going to chew through this whole thing. Okay, so,
She can have fun.
we're in like the couple days in between our wedding and our honeymoon, so we're not going to go off and do anything and whatnot. We're just going to do something from home, give you another video from here while what you can't see right now is there's just clothes everywhere over there. Suitcases, clothes.
Piles of clothes.
Yeah.
I haven't even unpacked from the wedding yet, so I just have all this like supplies in half of my suitcase that I have to unpack before I can pack.
We leave tomorrow.
Yeah.
For our honeymoon, so Becca has no idea what we're about to do.
That makes me very nervous.
You should be. So I came across this Instagram reel yesterday that I thought would make for a good video. This came from Steph Tonneson. So it is, as you can hear,
7 deep but socially appropriate questions to ask someone you're getting to know.
We're getting to know each other.
That's enough. So we're both just going to answer the questions.
Okay.
So are you ready for number 1?
Yeah.
1. Tell me about your friends. Who are they and what do you like about them?
What I like about my friends is that I can go a while without talking to them and they don't automatically assume that I hate them for like my lack of contact with them, because I'm a person like that every once in a while I just decide that I need like my space, and then I can just come back after like weeks or like even a couple months and just be like, hi, and they're like, hey, how's it going? I don't know, that sounds probably kind of silly, but like I really appreciate that, because like I have had friendships in the past where I'm like, hey, I've had to tell them that I don't really feel like talking, and they're like, okay, I'll be here when you get back, and then I'm not back yet, and then they unfollow me on social media and we're not friends anymore. And I'm just like, okay, like it's fine, because that's just not a friendship that they're looking for, and like we have differences and that's fine, but yeah, that's something that I appreciate about my friends.
So I don't have like a ton of friends. I'm older. It kind of happens when you're older.
Acting like I do have a lot of friends. I have like 4 friends.
When you get older and you don't have kids yet, generally, or if you don't have kids ever, you generally have less friends to a certain extent, because like as you get further away from high school and college, you lose those friends for the most part because you're off to doing other things. You may make friends in the workplace, but not always, and then you go and make friends with your kids' parents. It's basically like the next step. So like kind of like have this growing number of friends that then shrinks down, and then if you have kids, potentially grows again.
Yeah.
We don't currently have kids, and so I have a small set of friends, but what I like about most of my friends, or the few friends that I have, is like, one, like they're always there to help if I need anything. Like I could call up just about any one of my friends, and like they'd be able to help with whatever it is. It could be moving something, it could be figuring out something else, like whatever it is that I need, like they're there. And then on top of that, most of them too are down to just go do something. If we're looking to go out or have fun or something like that, they're all pretty available to do that. I mean, some of them have kids, so like that obviously gets in the way of things, but in general, they're all pretty available to just go do stuff. And it's a two-way street, you know, like I'm always there to help them as well too. Like,
right. They do.
All right, question 2.
2. If you could have any job in the world, what would it be?
Navy's looking at me like, you got an
She's
answer?
like, Dad, you're first.
For me, like, job, like, to a certain extent, like, any job that I could want, for the most part, is kind of what we're doing, where I don't have much requirements, we can make a decent amount of money, I can stay home. I don't have a specific thing that I want to do. I have a specific lifestyle that I would like to achieve, and so it's kind of what we're doing now, able to travel when we want, we can still afford everything that we're doing, and I have very low time commitment to what I need to do.
For me, I never like do well in like actual like 9 to 5 settings. Things seem to always happen, you know.
Sure.
And I try to deal with them, and then it just messes up my mental health. So I kind of am in the same boat with you, because I just feel like anything we can do. Yeah. But yeah, I like doing basically what we're doing, social media content. I like that we get to travel and we enjoy filming it, and I like going back and editing these videos together and like reminiscing on what we did 2 days ago. I just want to have a job where I'm my own boss basically, and that I can have the freedom to do what I want when I want, and like obviously it's still work, but that's like the main thing for me.
3. If you could move anywhere in the world, where would it be?
I don't really have a good answer for this yet, because I don't like I've seen enough of the world. In theory, I think I would really enjoy living somewhere in like the Scandinavian area, one of the Scandinavian countries. Just lifestyle, waking up every day to like certain views and stuff. I just think that somewhere in Scandinavia would probably be my dream setting. Also Northern Lights. Duh.
I don't think I have a strong preference as to where I would live. I think it would just be in general, just not in the U.S. For me, temperature is a big thing, and I don't like it too hot. I can deal with cold, but like even Iceland, as we're looking more into it, like we're going pretty late in the year this year, and it's not getting that cold. Like it's comparable to Illinois to a certain extent. Now, granted, it's not going to get very hot in Iceland either. I mean,
Yeah.
you're looking at it topping out at maybe 70, so you're not, doing beach vacations in Iceland. But as far as like somewhere to live,
Bless you.
as far as somewhere to live, Navy and Finn are going to steal the show.
Gonna, they already did.
But as far as somewhere to live, I think Iceland would be pretty nice to live. Obviously, it's more expensive, and you have those issues that go along with that. I think Iceland would be pretty cool, but also, like Becca, I haven't been to too many places. Something, Dave? They can't see us. Okay, ready for question 4?
Yep.
4, what are you most excited about right now?
What I'm most excited about right now, I guess, like be our honeymoon. I mean, like ultimately, it kind of makes the most sense. It's the next thing, like what else would you be excited about other than the next thing that's coming up, I thought Iceland was pretty cool, the parts we saw, but like we stayed really close to Reykjavik, which is like the only major city, and we got like 2.5 hours away from Reykjavik on like the ring road, which there's still like so there's the ring road which goes around the outside. That takes like, if you were to drive it straight, like 15 hours to drive just straight. And then there's still all the interior of Iceland too that you're not seeing on the ring road. And we only did like 2.5 hours around the ring road the last time. So I think there's just so much more to see. And then Scotland looks pretty awesome too.
Yeah, so I don't think we even said
Oh,
though,
yeah.
like our honeymoon, we're going to Iceland for a week and then Scotland for like 5 days.
6 days.
6 days, and then we're coming back to Iceland for a couple days before we go home.
Yeah.
That makes more sense now why Scotland was just mentioned.
And speaking of that, we highly recommend, if you're going to Europe, to do the stopover in Iceland, because our tickets for us going to Iceland, to Scotland, back to Iceland, back to the U.S. are $1,500 for both of us combined, not each, $1,500, which like is just insane price in my mind. Like
for me, for Europe especially.
Yeah, because like to spend $1,000 per person or $1,200 per person to get to Europe isn't absurd. Like that's kind of somewhat typical. So like by doing the stopover, they kind of give you a discount on that next flight because Iceland Air, and this has to be through Iceland Air. Iceland Air owns like almost all the hotels in Iceland, so they want you to stay there, so they can make money off you. So they give you this little stopover thing, and you can do up to as little as 1 day, all the way up to 7 days.
So we're doing 7 days.
Yeah. What are you excited about?
I'm actually kind of in agreement with you about our honeymoon because I'm really excited to see Scotland. For some reason in my head, Scotland is a place that I'm really gonna like and then be really like salty that we can't just like easily get citizenship and move there. And maybe I'll hate it, I don't know, but for some reason in my head, I'm gonna like be really upset to leave. So I think that's why I'm really excited. One, because obviously just because it's our honeymoon, I get to be with you, but like also just because I'm really excited to explore and see if my intuition about that country is correct. I'm very curious.
All right, 4 questions down, 3 to go.
This is easy peasy.
5, do you have any role models? Who are they, and why do you look up to them?
I feel like I used to have role models. I don't feel like I really do anymore because I don't really I don't have a career where I'm like employed by someone and I'm trying to go through the ranks and I look up to somebody who's more superior to me, and I don't really look up to like celebrities because I just view celebrities as like other people, so I don't really like glamorize that. I don't know. I've just kind of been like living my life for me and for us, and I don't ever like see people where I'm like, man, I wish I was like that, in the sense of like I need to do what they did to get to where they are. Like, I don't know, it's kind of weird, but like I just kind of feel like I've been just kind of vibing, honestly.
I think ultimately the same thing for me. I used to have role models and things like that when I had specific careers and I was in specific sports or had specific aspirations. But now that we're kind of just real general, I would say like the closest thing to like a role model because of what we're doing would be like looking at like the way Mr. Beast operates and how he's looking to give back and things like that with
Yeah,
the money
I
he's
like
making.
that.
Like, I wouldn't necessarily say it's a role model, but like I do like what he's doing, and like not that we're anywhere near making the amount of money he's making, but the way he's going about things and the way he's trying to give back and help the homeless and things like that. Like, I think that's really cool, and like, so sort of a role model, but in general,
Yeah,
not really.
I guess you're, because I remember like ever since we started dating and like I quit my job and like we've been saying like that we want to grow and get rich together so we can do stuff like that. Like I so badly like have this whole plan of wanting to like build like apartments for homeless people and like build more shelters and all this stuff for animals and stuff. And obviously there's a bunch of logistics, but like as long as I can remember, I think we've both been, at least within our relationship, been like, that's like such a goal for us. You obviously can't do things like that if you don't have money.
Sure.
So like I agree with that. I like how he runs it, and I like how he gives back a lot. Some people hate on him because they think he just does good deeds to record them.
Right.
But like he has to record them so people will like view his stuff and he can make more money to give back some more. So like it's kind of like a weird spot, I guess.
6. What is the nicest thing someone's ever said to you?
I don't know. I guess I don't really keep track necessarily of things like that. Like, there's never been a moment where I'm like, oh yeah, that was really cool that this person said this to me or anything like that. Like, it just, for me, I guess it's just not something I pay attention to. I don't take people's words like as all that meaningful necessarily. Like, even if someone's mean or something like that.
Like a thing that says don't take hate from somebody you wouldn't take advice from or something.
Sure. Like, I'm just like, so I just don't pay attention to that much. So I don't know. I guess like the nicest thing that
Maybe
probably has been said about me by numerous people is just like generally that I'm very teachable or coachable. I guess that's pretty nice. That like basically I can follow instructions and do things.
Congratulations, you have a brain. I'm just kidding, because that is hard sometimes. Like sometimes there's certain things that people just don't get.
Sure.
I don't really have something that like sticks out to me that's like wow, that's like brings tears to my eyes. Like nobody's ever said something that nice, but one thing did come to mind when I had my last full-time job. I was like extremely miserable. He can verify that. I was like crying every day type of miserable, and for some reason after I knew I was gonna quit, and I might have even already put in my 2 weeks at that point, I'm not sure, but I was taking a phone call and this man asked me a question and I answered it, and he just goes, "Oh, your voice has honey in it." And for some reason, like with how miserable I was at that job and just all the time, him being like so grateful for me just like answering a simple question, and for some reason the way he said it, like I hung up and I almost started crying. Like for some reason that like really put me in a really, really, really good place, and I couldn't even tell you why. But I just thought that was a really sweet thing, and I've never heard that before. And that's like the first thing that came to mind that just like really like genuinely like helped me get through work that day.
7. What's the meanest thing someone's ever said to you?
I don't really know. Like there's been things that have been said to me that in the moment were like probably very mean, and like people have obviously like hurt my feelings to the point where I've cried before, but nothing has like stuck with me like for such a long time that like I don't know.
Like I just said a couple seconds ago, I don't really pay attention to what people say, whether it's mean or nice. So I don't really have anything specific that I can think of. Yeah. All right. Well, next time you see us, we'll probably be somewhere else.
I think this is a good idea. I feel like we kind of mostly knew that about each other already, but like hopefully this was another get to know us better on your guys' side. If there's anything else that you're interested in knowing, leave a comment, we'll answer it, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video next week.